Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Clearly Thriving. I'm Allison Clay,
And I'm Siri Harkins.
and we are thriving.
Clearly,
Clearly. Siri, what are you drinking today?
nothing. I'm so full.
I have a Diet Dr. Pepper. Beautiful.
Yes. Crisp.
hmm Siri, tell the friends what time it is.
It's 9 p.m. I'm exhausted. My
Yeah.
eyes are like heavy.
Yeah.
My eyelids feel puffy and heavy.
Yeah.
Yep.
We both worked today, and then we went to Disneyland,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're podcasting.
Yep.
And after this, Siri gets to go through some PJs to see if she wants them. And she also gets to be shown where all of Winston's food is because I leave to go to the airport in less than 12 hours.
Ugh.
Ask me if I've started packing yet. The answer is no.
Wonderful.
It's gonna be fine.
Yep.
I did put my last load of laundry in the washer a few minutes ago, so that's exciting.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good, good.
yeah. It's important to have clean clothes to pack, I feel, ideally.
Yeah, we had this conversation that it's like gross to pack dirty clothes unless it's like you're coming home from a trip.
Yeah. Like when I'm going somewhere, I only want to put clean clothes in my suitcase, and it feels icky to put dirty clothes in my suitcase, even if I know I can do laundry at my destination.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I'm coming home, I like expect to pack dirty clothes, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. Right, Lila?
Lila is seated for this episode as per usual. She just hopped laps.
Yep.
She's having a great time. She loves recording because there are multiple laps to sit in, and we're still for a little bit.
Yeah, she gets pets, she gets to sit. It's a good time for the dog.
She can just walk back and forth between us. It's great.
She's licking my hand. That was weird. Thank you.
She's a licker, that one.
Oh, yep. Mm.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, we went to Disneyland today. Oh yeah, and before we went to Disney, we got matcha.
Oh yeah. That's right. We went to Three Sisters on ouch before we left Burbank.
This was our order of operations. Okay, well, first of all, I left work. I came home to change my pod because my pod failed at work and my blood sugar was over 400 for like 4 hours. So I was not feeling super great. Um, so I drove home like begging God to not make me throw up in my car.
Hmm.
Uh, So I came home, I gave myself a shot, I changed my pod, I chugged some water, I checked for ketones. I did have pretty high ketones. Um, and then I went to the pharmacy because today was my last opportunity to pick up my medication before my trip, and they're not open before I leave in the morning. So I went to the
Had to.
pharmacy,
Hmm.
did that. Then I came back and changed into my Disney fit, and then you came over.
Hmm.
And then we went to Three Sisters and got our matcha.
Yes.
Then we got on the freeway and drove an hour and a half today it took us to get to Sonic,
Hmm.
where we got another beverage.
Yep, and food.
Oh, well, first we went to Walmart and peed.
Oh yeah, I had to pee pretty badly after the matcha.
Me too.
So Walmart to pee,
And then
and then
Sonic.
in Sonic.
And then we went to Disney,
Hmm.
first downtown Disney, and walked around, looked at the stores, saw some new stuff. That was exciting. Then we went into California Adventure and walked through the stores, saw some new stuff. That was exciting. And then we rode Little Mermaid.
Yes.
We walked on, literally walked on.
Yeah, it was pretty perfect timing.
Yeah, it was great. Then we walked around some more,
Looked at more stores,
saw more things. It was
saw more
exciting.
things.
Then I got the Pride Month cocktail, which was pretty yummy. So it tasted like a strawberry sour candy.
Hmm.
Um, and then we got some snacks.
Yeah, I got a corn dog, which wasn't dairy free, so that's not helping me right now,
Yeah,
but that's okay.
I had a Mickey pretzel. It was great.
Yes. So you had your drink, your Mickey pretzel. I had my corn dog with hot sauce and chili flakes, and
What a combo.
it was really good. And then
Theory's working on her spice
a Diet
tolerance.
Coke. Listen, we tried to order the mango habanero flavor at Buffalo Wild Wings. It was my suggestion. I was like, it's not going to be that bad. It was like 2 steps higher in spice than the last flavor I had tried, which was fine. I got to wing number 3 and I like couldn't see straight. My head was spinning and I gave up. And I was starving. I don't think you have any idea how hungry I was in this moment, but like, no, I couldn't even see straight. So they were generous and they brought us 10 wings of a different flavor, the one that we had had before. So those were fine. And I was able to eat those ones.
Good.
Uh, yeah. I like a little spice. I think things are better with a little spice, but the mango habanero was too much for me at that point in time. Like my mouth was on fire. Ugh, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
When Amanda and Jasenia and I went to Topanga Social, they got ramen and I got Jaybirds, which Jaybirds is like kind of like Cane's. You can pick your spice level.
Oh, okay.
And Amanda went with me to order because she wanted a soda. And sh when I picked my spice level, she went, "Are you sure?" Because I got like the second from the highest. And I was like, "Yeah." And then we like sat down to start eating. And she said to Jasenia, she was like, "She ordered the second from the highest spice level. I didn't know she did that." And Jasenia was like, "Yeah."
I guess she eats spicy food. It's just you
And you
just
know what? Next time I'll probably go up a step. It was like it had a little flavor, but I could have done with some more.
I hear the top spice flavor at Dave's is pretty brutal. There's
Mm.
like one you need to sign a waiver for.
Oh.
Yeah.
At Dave's, I normally just get the hot, not like the because there's mild, medium, hot, and then more. And I normally just get the hot.
I just get no spice when I'm there because it has more calories. So I just don't. I don't
That
know.
is sad.
No,
I guess I don't care.
doesn't really matter at that point. Lila, are you gonna make a decision whose lap you're gonna sit in?
She's like, no, we'll be going back and forth.
Okay.
Lila, you should sit with Siri. You're not going to see her for 3 weeks.
Little potato. My little potato. I'm a potato. She just looked so
The
offended.
side eye.
Oh my
If
God.
you're on YouTube and just saw the side eye that my dog gave, you're welcome. Yeah, I leave for 3 weeks, which, like, when I say it out loud, it doesn't sound like that long, but then I think about it and I'm like, that's a long time.
I saw like it's 4 weeks of summer school, and I'm like, that's not too bad. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
it's okay. Today was day 1 of summer school.
And tell the people how that went.
It was great. I'm happy to be there.
She texted me at one point during the day and said, summer school is so boring.
I mean, I just get bored anyway, but like, I don't know the kids yet, and the kids don't know each other, so it was just so quiet. And I was like, is this gonna be
All
all
summer.
summer of like no one wanting to talk, and then I just end up babbling about stuff because
Probably.
probably, and we can do that. It's fine. Man.
Great.
It's also like decently far, the school I'm working at. Like it's technically in the same city as the school that I work at, but it is a good chunk farther away from me.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's so close to where I used to live. So that like hurts a little piece of me a little bit. Like I literally drove by my old apartment on the way home today and I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like 2 minutes away.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, at a trafficless hour, this is a 38-minute drive.
Great.
Love this. And that's taking the freeway.
Great. Time to find a podcast.
No, I'm more just like, this is so much gas. And they only pay me once a month. So I still gotta wait for any of this to affect my pay.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't know why they decided once a month was an appropriate pay period
Yeah, that's crazy.
and the 5th of the month as the disbursement date.
That's, I think, what gets me the most because
Yeah,
everything is due on the first.
I know the first, like when I found that out after I'd already like agreed to work for this district, I like cried. I was like, are you kidding me? And especially when they were like, well, the reporting date for your work hours is the 20th of the month before. And like my start date was the 24th of the
Hmm.
month. So they were like, yeah, you might not actually get paid that first month at all. And I was like, that was when I like called my mom crying. I was like, I don't know what
Yeah.
to do. I'm like, I can't, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm starting this job. And they told me I might, like, I probably won't get paid that whole month because I started after the pay report period. I did get paid.
Good.
It was just whatever.
Yeah.
But
I'd forgotten about
they
that.
definitely scared me quite a lot because that's a big chunk when you get paid
Once a
once
month.
a month. Like, dude, I got like
Bills.
bills. I was literally like, how do people do this? And I didn't know anybody, so I couldn't be like, how do you make this work?
Help.
And everyone's like, I live at home. Like literally everyone. I was like, are you kidding me right now? They're like, oh, my partner. And I was like, I'm single. Like I am by myself. I live by myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I not?
Today at work, someone was like, I feel like you've lived in that area for a really long time. Have you been in the same house the whole time? And I was like, yep. And they're like, oh, is it like really nice? And I was like, I mean, I like it. I'll not ever find anything cheaper
That
at
part.
this point because I've lived here in this house. It'll be 8 years in September.
That's crazy.
And like, it was a deal when we moved in 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And they can only raise it a certain amount. And knock on wood, they haven't even done that every year. So I literally will never find anything cheaper. So I will be staying here until I can find my own place.
Yeah.
Plus, like I could not take that little yard away from Lila.
Yeah.
She's used to it. She's never lived anywhere else but here except before I got her.
That's true.
Yeah, because I got her in this house.
Baby.
And like she lived at my parents' the summer of COVID, but they had a huge yard and she loved it there. She would get the zoomies and just run circles around that yard. And now when we go visit my parents, their yard is even bigger and she still gets the zoomies and runs around. And she gets the zoomies occasionally in the yard here, but not very often. Because like this yard it's small and it's mostly concrete, but she's a small dog,
Yeah. So
so
it's
it's
like,
really fine.
hello. Okay.
But I also am so used to like when I roll out of bed in the morning, we go outside.
Yeah.
We don't have to put on a harness. We don't have to put on a leash. I don't have to put on clothes. I just open the back door and she goes and does her business. I don't even have to step into the sunlight.
That's like a whole thing. Like I have to put on my little robe, grab my keys, put on shoes, put on the
Hmm.
harnesses and the leashes, get the dogs down the stairs and out the door, do a little
Yeah.
walkie walk. At my last apartment, it wasn't like a safe neighborhood.
Yeah.
So there were some times where like in the morning we would go out, but it was always like a little chaotic because it was so early and if it was still dark out, I was always like on edge. Um, but like I had that little patio, so a lot of times they would just go out there.
Yeah.
But we don't have that.
At
But
least now you're
I'm
in
in
a
a safe
better
neighborhood.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arguably a very safe neighborhood,
Yeah.
especially that street specifically.
Yeah, it's a very active street, but like neighborhood active.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty safe little zone.
Yeah. And you're like close to some old folks who like
Yeah,
to
they're
sit
always
outside.
out. Like there's always someone keeping tabs in the neighborhood.
Like if
So,
anything happens, they will see it.
hmm
It's like Mr. and Mrs. Kravitz.
I don't know. They're funny.
One of them, the last time I went to walk the dogs, one of them asked me if I'd bring him a burger. And I was like, um, I actually am not coming back here.
They're so funny. I know there's like one lady that always asks people for $1. I'm like, why do you need $1?
Maybe they have like a cigarette vending machine in there.
I have no idea.
Probably not because oxygen. But maybe it's a vending machine. Maybe she wants a Coke or a candy bar or something.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe her dealer brings her those like little mini fridge hotel size shot bottles and charges her $1.
I don't I don't even know. These people they're funny. I'm like, whatever. Y'all are keeping an eye on things in a way, so
Yeah. And then
that's
when I
fine.
left last time I walked the weenies, two of the older guys were arguing and they were both in wheelchairs and they were like slowly rolling closer to each other. And the nurse who was out there was like, "You guys need to take a breath."
It's a funny time.
I enjoyed it. I was entertained.
Yeah. Lately it's been so hot that like I haven't been taking the dogs on like a longer walk because Panini can't handle it. Like she
Yeah.
gets too hot too fast.
Also, their little paws.
Yeah. Well, and Panini's double coated, so she's like
Hmm.
tongue hanging out of her mouth so fast.
Yeah.
So I'm like, ugh. Like I'm like yanking her, like, come on, come on, come on. And she's like,
She's like, "No, thank
like,
you."
I don't want to walk. Thank you very much. I will sit here.
They crack me up because Mocha, when we go outside, Mocha does her business so fast. Like she's on a mission, mission accomplished, she's ready to go inside. Panini needs, when I take them, she needs a few steps to like get things moving.
Yeah.
And Mocha is always like, "But I'm done."
Panini's also so funny because she just like goes out of nowhere. It's just like all of a sudden she's like, I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the sidewalk.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. She'll just like all of a sudden she's pooping. You're like, oh, okay. Interesting.
good job.
All right. Good job. Thank
Yep.
you.
Whereas Mocha is like, will be in the grass.
Yeah. She's like, I'm sniffing, clearly finding a spot. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
tell that this is what I'm doing. No.
Panini's like, "Oh, it's happening."
Yeah. She's like, oh, it's happening. It's happening.
It happened.
It happened. Yep. That's Panini. Yeah. She just like pooped in the middle of the sidewalk in downtown Burbank
Yes, she
yesterday.
did. Oh, okay. Well, she does that.
She,
She does that.
yeah. Yeah, I had the dogs and I brought them to downtown Burbank yesterday because I decided I wanted a chocolate chip bagel from Noah's and
Mm,
then a coffee from Starbucks. So we
nice.
just went down there and Mocha pooped on the sidewalk and I was like, great. I mean, we had just gotten out of the car, so I was like, okay, fair. And then on the way back to the car, Panini just like out of nowhere was just like, oh my gosh. Like had to put my coffee on the ground, pick it up. And then we get to another car and she's like yanking and she's still pooping. And I was like, oh, there was more. But at least at that point we were close to a table, so I could put my coffee drink on the table. And not on the ground. I don't know where that ring went.
I see it. I just can't reach it.
Ugh, it's fine. I have a ring on and it's too big. Um,
Oh yeah.
it's a miracle that it didn't fly off my finger at Disney.
Where
We
is
didn't go on any crazy rides though. I mean, Little Mermaid, I know, is like
it's a
pretty wild,
rager.
but
I have ring sizers. Oh, there you go.
oh, special. Perfect. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Now you see why I have so many left.
Yeah, these are kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think I've only used one of them, and I put it on like 8 rings. Because you don't put the whole thing. It's like
Yeah.
there's too much of it.
That's funny. Good.
Anyway,
Yeah.
um, what else?
Ugh, I'm just very tired.
I'm trying to not let the tired hit me.
Well, my eyes just like hurt and I can like see it
Yeah,
in the monitor.
yeah.
They're sagging a little.
I just know that I probably won't be getting a lot of sleep tonight, so I'm trying to
Yeah.
hence
I know.
cracking a Diet Dr. Pepper at 9 p.m.
Dude, I'm trying to come to terms with the fact that I need to be teaching children in the morning
Yay.
for 4 hours.
At least it's short.
4 hours. I mean, a normal school day is 6 hours, but usually like two of that six, you're not doing anything. So, because you have your prep period. So it's kind of the same as a
Mhm.
normal day, except I don't get a break, except for when the kids are at nutrition.
Yeah.
So it's almost worse than a normal school. Just kidding. I don't know. It
It's over earlier.
is, but it's so far away.
I'm trying to be optimistic.
Yeah. Literally what I was like talking to the students today about positive mindset, but I'm just really tired right now. So it's
Yeah.
just being a little hard. I'd like to go lay in bed.
Yeah. Um,
And I went to Disneyland last night too. So Allison and I had reservations yesterday.
and I was supposed to be, I should have been done with work at like 1 or 2 at the latest. I wrapped at 7. Disgusting.
Just it was.
Unnecessary.
It was like you had there was no
I literally just sat there. They could have told me to go home, and then they were like, no, just in case. Rude. And then I just sat there for like 4 hours,
yeah. It
5 hours,
you were there for so long.
and I was mad.
Yeah. Yesterday I was like, so I tried to like do a bunch of other stuff and then I was kind of like, okay. Um, because Kevin was at Disney with his classmates. And so I was kind of like, well, it would be fun to run into them for a little bit anyway when we had reservations. So that was kind
Yeah,
of my like loose plan. And then I was like, okay, well, even if Allison can't go, like I should like pop down anyway because
they're there.
they're there and it would just be fun and like worth it even just for a couple hours. But yeah, I was like, you just had no idea what was going on with work. So by the time I finally was like, I am gonna go and I'm
Yeah,
just gonna go now because otherwise I'm gonna be like
sitting in
sitting in
traffic.
traffic and the park wasn't even open very late last night. Like at California Adventure closed at 9, Disneyland closed at 8 or
Yeah.
not 9, 10. So we were there until park close. But that's the thing, like we were in line for a ride. So we did
Hmm.
the ride. We didn't leave the park until closer to 11, um, hour or so to get back. So I
Yeah.
got home closer to midnight. Then I had to shower and get ready for bed. So I didn't really get to bed till closer to 1. Had to wake up at 6 to get to work today. Yeah.
That's probably going to be my night tonight.
Yeah. That's what
It's
it
gonna
is.
be fun.
Yeah. Thursday's a holiday, so I don't have work on Thursday. So that's kind of nice.
On Thursday, I have my endo appointment in the morning. I'm getting my hair done in the afternoon. I'm hoping I can see a chiropractor on Thursday as well.
Ooh.
I would love to get my neck situated.
Hmm. What do you think about that, Winston?
Winston's like, I won't be there.
No, Winston, unfortunately, you're
Are you stuck? Oh, he
you're
fixed it.
okay. I was like, he's stuck with me checking in on him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In our last episode, I was still driving.
Oh yeah. So,
Originally, I was supposed to leave today
hmm
and drive and take both children. And then I was going to leave the children at my parents' while I go to Florida to film the movie that I booked. And then I was going to fly back to my parents, pick up the babies, and drive back. Um, and anytime I take both of them, I either have to drive or I have to have someone fly with me because you can only fly with one per person,
hmm
which is rude. Um, but I do it because I'm crazy. Anyway, and then I got into an intensive, which is exciting and I'm happy and grateful. Um, but now I wrap and then I have one day to get back to LA before the intensive starts. So then I was like, I'm gonna have to fly straight from Florida back to LA. And so then I was like, well, my parents can road trip the children back out, which they initially agreed to do. But then they took a little vacation later last week after we recorded, and they drove like 5 hours, not even that far. But my dad has had like five back surgeries in my life, and he's been fine for a couple years now. But apparently on this road trip, he started having a flare up. So then my mom was like, I don't think it's a good idea for us to do a 2 day road trip to
Yeah.
bring the children back to you. So anyway, Winston is going to stay here because he's a champ,
Hmm.
and Lila and I are flying tomorrow. And so now when I go to film the movie, Lila will stay with my parents and I'll fly to Florida. And then all in one day, within 24 hours, because my last scene is a night scene. So I will film my night scene. Then at 5 a.m., I will be flying from Florida back to my parents' closest airport. They will bring Lila to the airport. I'll have like a 4 hour airport break where I'll have to get my bag and leave the airport. And then we will fly on a different airline back to LA, which means I'll have to check my bag again. And it's
Yeah.
going great.
It's gonna be a time.
Yeah.
It's okay. The things we do.
Yeah. I'm crazy.
She stole my line.
She made me cuckoo. She's why I spent 4 years locked in that health spa. Lila was like,
If you have not seen Death Becomes Her, get on it. Get on the TikTok, whatever. I
the
don't
slime tutorial on TikTok. Death Becomes Her. Megan Hilty, Jennifer Samard. The understudies are great too. Iconique.
The cast recording is on Spotify.
We love
It is great.
the Tony's performance,
Yeah, so
the
good.
Kimmel performance,
Hmm.
or Fallon performance, I mean. The Fallon performance.
Whatever, the Jimmy dude.
The Jimmy.
The Jimmy dude.
The Jimmy performance. Also, the Good Morning America performance is hilarious because that's when she forgets
Oh,
the alt.
yes. Yeah, to not swear. That's funny.
And then she goes, oops.
That would be me.
You can see the second she says it, she's like, and then she looks like she's looking at like their stage manager or whoever. And then as soon as they finish the song, she goes, oops.
Yeah, I know.
Ah, anyway.
That's my one thing that makes it really funny that I work with the youth because I have a very foul mouth. So it's like funny that I like reel that in during a work day.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, you know.
yeah.
I also, it's really still, I'm still not to terms with being Miss Harkins. Like, that's just not my
It's
favorite
weird.
identity. It's very weird. Like, I have some students now, though, who I'm like, it would be weird if they called me something different. But I'm like, I really, really do prefer just being called Siri. Like, I don't like it when other adults like call me Miss Harkins. I'm like, eh.
Yeah,
Like, no, thank you. Just call me Siri. Like, I don't care if you are a coworker and you come into my class and address me as Siri. Like, that is my name.
yeah,
I don't think that's disrespectful or inappropriate.
yeah.
I think some people would consider that disrespectful. I don't. I kind of prefer it.
I think that's another thing that's kind of changing with
Yeah.
generations.
Like I had teachers who we called by their first names when I was in high school.
Yeah, when
But I
I
mean, I
was,
went to an arts high school, so it was a little
yeah,
bit different. But like, yeah, we had Jan and Janice.
yeah. When I was in college, I called every professor by their first name.
Yeah, same in college for me. I mean, there were a couple that like insisted on whatever, but
My like craziest college professor, you've heard me talk about her.
yeah.
She was always Judy, and then my last year, she decided she was going to be Dr. Babnich. And
Yeah,
she was very insistent in class, and none of the majors did that because she also was insane. Um, but the non-majors who got stuck taking her class would. And we'd be like, Judy. And she'd be like, it's Dr. Babnich. And we'd be like, yeah, Judy.
like I'm not calling you that. We've already been knew you as Judy.
Yeah. Also, you're too crazy. Like, you're insane. I watched her grope a student in front of me my freshman year. Like, You are Doctor of None, ma'am.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Just because you have the title doesn't mean you need to use it.
no. But we also figured out if we said Babnitch fast, or if we said batshit fast enough, she thought we said Babnitch. So if we did say Dr. Batshit, she thought it was Dr. Babnitch. And then sometimes she'd even thank us. She'd be like, oh, thank you. My second year of college, after the groping incident, because that happened in the spring, in the fall of my second year, because it happened in front of an entire cast and crew. Uh-huh. Not to me, thank God. I would have cried. But anyway, there was I don't know the word, a hearing, like an in between an investigation and a petition
Okay.
to the president of the college to get her fired because she was on tenure. Um,
Oh, that part,
and the base of it was
that
that incident.
situation.
But she taught four classes that were all mandatory for our major. They were all the same class. They all had a different title and a different purpose.
But you taught
But
them
the
the same.
assignments, I'm not kidding, I turned in the same paper four times and got 100% four times. Because she also didn't believe in the internet. So you would have to print them out and hand them to her, and she would grade them and hand them back to you. So she never knew that she read the same paper four times and loved it four times because she had no record and she couldn't check it against past.
Anything.
Yeah. Anyway, I basically did four classes in one because I did not do work after that first class. Um, anyway, so everyone was already frustrated about that. And like she shouldn't have been in the position she was. Um, but yeah, there was like a situation my second year where a bunch of the majors went to the president of the school to try to get her dismissed based on that
That,
incident.
yeah.
And he still didn't fire her. He was like, she has tenure, it's too hard. Meanwhile, there was like probably 10 students who were like, please get rid of this person.
It's really hard to get rid of someone who's tenure.
But
That's
when
the
they
thing.
touch a student,
Yeah,
like that's a crime, first and
I
foremost.
don't know.
Anyway, I don't know if she's even still alive, but
Oh,
she was old too. She should have been retired.
that part. I feel like there are some people who get to a point in their lives in the education field specifically, actually, really in any field. People get to a point where like you need to fucking retire because you're cranky as shit. Like, what are you still doing here? Just leave.
Yeah. She wasn't cranky. She liked being there too much and she thought that we liked her and nobody had any time for her bullshit. There was
Uh,
one year in our improv class, we had to come up with a character that we were going to work on all semester. I did her. I bought a wig and I bought glasses because she wore these like really thick cat eye glasses and she had so many different pairs of them because she had a color for every day.
okay.
And each outfit was that color. Different patterns, different accessories, but it would be like always bright. So it would be like bright green, and it might be like a bright green zebra tunic with rhinestone leggings and then green sandals that were so tight on her feet. You would like see her like fat bulging over her sandals and it like made my feet hurt just to look at them. And then she would have like green bangles and big green earrings and maybe like a green headscarf. And then she had the same glasses, but the rhinestones in the glasses were all different colors. So then she'd wear the green rhinestones. And then when she wore pink, she'd wear the pink rhinestones and all pink and like not tasteful jewelry. Like it looked like, like the kid dress up type accessories where they're plastic.
Like that, like straight up costume jewelry.
Yes. She was kind of like the drama teacher in High School Musical, except even more of a caricature. But this was like my life.
That's my future, everybody. I'm kidding. I can't.
Not like that.
Not like
But yeah, that was my character that I worked on for improv. And when I brought it in, the professor who taught that class, which I also didn't like, but for different reasons, was like, this is bold. And I was like, So he was like, if she finds out, and I was like, are you gonna tell her? Because I'm not. Anyway, yeah, I think that will bring us to the end of this lovely episode of Clearly Thriving. I'm Allison Clay,
And I'm Siri Harkins,
and we are thriving. Clearly.
clearly.